Good evening, Rams, and welcome back to Local Beats. I am your host, Abi MacPhail, and tonight we've got all kinds of stuff on the table. We've got the artists on the big stage at the Super Bowl, down to the smaller artists at the LSC right here at CSU. But first, to kick it off, I wanted to have a bit of a deep discussion. When I hear the word groupie, I always kind of wonder, what does that really mean? And why am I kind of offended by it?
Hi, my name is Jenna Cadle. I have traveled to see Greta Van Fleet. We're going on 5 shows.
Why do you find yourself traveling for shows?
For me, starting out, it was really trying to connect with people in the fandom. But now that I've seen that the fandom is kind of toxic, I do it to still meet people, but more in the sense of really just trying to be connected more with their music, because I feel like I was just going for to see friends.
That's like flashback to like when you traveled like to see friends. How would you like describe that environment?
It's very loving. It's a very nurturing environment, especially coming from a really small town here in Michigan. I don't really have any friends. So being able to be in a space where you don't really know anybody and then come home with like all of these new contacts and all these new friends that you can sit and just talk about something that you both enjoy.
When you hear the word groupie, do you consider it like derogatory? Like, do you think it's like mean?
If you're using it to be derogatory, it could come off as mean.
It really is just like someone who like follows a band around, you know what I mean? But it like particularly like caters towards young women.
Even in like 50s, 60s types of music, like rock music, it was only really centered around women. It was like male bands. It wasn't just female singers as well, but mainly male bands being followed by women. I've seen so much hate and so many angry people within their fan base, and I feel like it just ruins the experience for a lot of people. If it makes you happy, go do it. If you want to only see shows through a TikTok live or an Instagram live, do that. Or if you want to spend thousands of dollars investing in going to see this band, do it. It's your life. It's your life. Nobody can tell you what to do. Nobody can, and they can try, but at the end of the day, it's your life.
First off, I want to say a huge thank you to Jenna and Alex who helped make that possible. And I really think it's so important to have a little bit more insight on what it means to follow bands, especially as a woman. And I really love watching women performers especially. And that's kind of what me and Madeline are about to get into. Check it out. Welcome back to Local Beats. I am Abi MacPhail, and this is the lovely Madeline Davis from Tuesday Night Sports.
I've always wanted to be on Local Beats. If I wasn't doing sports, I would be doing something physical.
Today, we are here to do something very special. We are drafting Super Bowl halftime performances. Wow. In honor of football season starting, we are picking 3. We're doing our top 3.
Yes.
And then we'll have some honorable mentions. All right.
Shall we flip the coin?
I think we shall.
Abby gets the first spin.
Oh! This is my number 3.
Okay, honestly, I thought you were gonna draft this higher.
My number 3 draft pick for Super Bowl halftime performances is Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar.
I like the set. I think there's a lot going on.
This is one of the things that is like really important, is like having clean dancers. Like,
it's put together.
I think it's so okay. 3, 2, 1. Oh, The Weeknd.
I'm going with the Weeknd.
That's I I think that's a really, really good
Third pick in the draft. I agree.
I think that's a good one.
I agree. But it's a very, very solid performance.
It is.
And it's a phenomenal set. And like he sings songs everyone knows. All the singers come in. It just like it's giving just theatrical.
Yeah.
And I think if you're gonna do a Super Bowl halftime show, you have to be theatrical. Then he goes in to one of my personal favorites, The Hills.
Mm-hmm. This is my number 2.
This is your number 2?
Yeah, Beyonce Super Bowl
You
2013.
think you have a better one?
I think so.
When I think of the Super Bowl halftime show, this is the performance I think of.
Yeah.
I can't believe you put this at number. I can't believe you have a better one than this.
I think that the 2013 Super Bowl performance by Beyonce is number 2 because I think it truly showcases Beyonce's talent. I just wish.
Tell me one area where this performance can improve. Tell me one area.
I wish I had more performers.
3, 2, 1. You can look at it.
Really?
Yep.
Rihanna?
Yep.
She hadn't performed live since I think 2017.
Yeah. Like, and she comes back for the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah. The one that always gets me is when she puts on Fenty.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of the show. Like that I think might be my like favorite part.
Extra proud, I want you to see it.
Which one it was? Which one do you think it
I
is?
think you're gonna combine formation with Uptown Funk.
Yes.
It's gonna be a dance battle.
With Coldplay.
And the Broncos are gonna win.
And the Broncos are gonna win. And that is somehow the worst part of this performance. I really, really like how Coldplay uses the audience just as much to be a part of the
I was just gonna say, I do like how literally the whole entire stadium is involved.
Yeah, it's so like hippy dippy, like blindly optimistic to the world. Coldplay is a great opener because everyone's like, ah, yeah, Coldplay.
They're like, yeah, nice
And then-
family show.
Yeah.
And then, bam! Uptown funk you up. Uptown funk you up. Say what?
What I really like in particular about Coldplay's performance is the audience with the flowers, or like the dancers with the flowers that
are fun. Oh, and a marching band.
And a marching
man,
band.
I love a good marching band.
who doesn't?
That man's got some swag.
Yes.
Oh.
He's so swagadocious, it's absurd. I do really like that it looks like Bruno Mars and Beyonce did agree on a theme for the outfits, and
They
then
did.
Coldplay accidentally showed up.
Yeah, and then Coldplay was like,
And then
they come together?
yeah, and then
Ugh.
like they end world hunger and no way.
Yes! This is my number 1. I love it. It has it all. It has it all, and I just love Left Shark too much. It's awesome. She comes in on a giant, like, robotic tiger.
I just think it looks so stupid.
And that's why I love it. Because I think that this is what a Super Bowl halftime show should be. I think it should look stupid.
I wish there was a little less Katy Perry in this. Lenny Kravitz is the hottest person in the Super Bowl performance.
Okay. I honestly, if Katy Perry did the show every year, I would be pleased. That's awesome!
Why aren't the surfboards sentient though?
And then at the end, where she flies around in a circle
Okay.
on a star that's like a firework.
During firework?
That's awesome. Awesome.
We would like to include some honorable mentions because I think these are just such iconic Super Bowl moments, like Super Bowl halftime moments, that We just had to include them.
You think of Superbowl halftime, you think of a little too much Janet Jackson.
And honestly, too much Justin Timberlake, because he was even there. I don't like Justin Timberlake.
My honorable mentions is the first Super Bowl halftime show I ever remember, which was the Black Eyed Peas.
The Lady Gaga jumping off the roof of the stadium. Because why did she do that? Although it's not Super Bowl, it is truly one of the most memorable music performances in sports history.
Yeah, oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
Fergie at the NBA All-Star Game singing the national anthem.
In the home of the
Madeline, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime.
Yeah.
This was maybe some of the most fun I've ever had at CTV. Back to you in the studio.
Back to you not in the studio. Me and Madeline had such a good time making that video, and honestly, I think I came out with a better draft, but don't tell her I said that. Anyways, up next we've got a local artist named Wunderbus, who's here to tell us a little bit about his music and then debut his music video for FOCO.
I'm Jalen Thompson. I don't know. I'm a music maker, I guess. I'm going to school for music composition, so I spend a lot of my time listening to, writing music, finding music. But on the side, I kind of make my own music, and that's what we're doing today, is making a music video for it. So I'm very excited. I've never made a music video before, so let's see. I came up with FOCO in the summer of last year, so 2022. I had been through a big, long slump writing songs. I hadn't really written anything and released it since, my senior year of high school. And I was kind of just in the mood to finally, actually write something and release it. So I took, 2 weeks and just hammered out a song and was, freaking out about it for weeks after that. And it still took me a while to release it, but I was really excited because it was the first song I had written in a long time. Probably the first song I released since I had moved to Colorado. I'm from Missouri, so it was kind of this song acknowledging all the stuff that I've done since I left home, and I've lived in Colorado since I left home in 2020, so I'm a big kid. And it's kind of my big kid song. I'm out and I'm on my own, so. The sample at the end is actually a speech from George Washington Carver.
Figure it out for yourself, my man. You've all that the greatest of men have had.
And I had a conversation with my dad once. We went to New Mexico or something, and on the way we stopped at the George Washington Carver Museum, and we looked at peanut plants and stuff, I don't know. And we listened to some recordings of speeches that he did, and he had a very frail, high nasally voice. And we talked about how a lot of the things that he said in his speeches probably would have been more popular if they were spoken by someone like Malcolm X or Dr. Martin Luther King. Because of the way that those people talk and their timbre of their voices, it's just really interesting to think about how much more people will listen to someone if they sound more convincing and more empowering. So I was like, I'm gonna use this cute little speech about doing what you can with what you have, and it was my little oh, I may not always feel like I have the most interesting things to say or the coolest things, or I'm not the best at everything, but it doesn't mean that I'm not supposed to be doing it. I can still do whatever I want, really. When I was in high school, I was a nerd, just like everyone else, and I was like, this is my made-up word. I made this word up, and it's what I'm gonna use for something. I don't know what yet. And then for 3 years, it was the playlist I have on Spotify is named my biggest playlist with all the stuff I put in. If everything I really like goes in that playlist, it was the name of my playlist for a while. And then when I started making music, I spent plenty of time trying to talk myself in and out of names, and I was like, oh, I could just use this. And it just kind of stuck. I haven't hated it enough to get rid of it, and happy with it. It's unique enough too. Like, I appreciate it. So it doesn't mean anything in and of itself, but it's kind of like the word I use to just get myself to do things.
Told me, shouts to my heart, 'cause that's disrespect. Spin cycle, whoa, whoa, whoa. Spin cycle, whoa. That shit don't stop.
I want to say a huge shout out to Jalen for helping us film this music video for him, and we had so much fun, and honestly it's probably one of my favorite videos that I've made so far. But unfortunately that brings us to the end of Local Beats for tonight, but stay tuned for more throughout the semester.
Don't look at it directly. I'm trying to make it red.